Hey guys, so you have an idea. What's next? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about right now. Um, Basically, it is creating your design and turning that design into a vector image. What a vector image is basically just a, I'll zoom in on this here. It is paths and nodes. And what I mean by paths and nodes are this. If I take this little tool over here and I select it, you can see these little boxes. These are nodes, and then between them is a path. And it's just a way that the graphic design software and our cutting software reads these designs. So it sees a path, and then it sees these nodes, and it knows the path to take to cut. And then it also aids in your graphic design. You can take these and stretch and skew your design using the paths and nodes, and that's just something you can play with and get used to. But in general, a vector image, that's what it is: paths and nodes, a way to help aid design and cut your design. So first off, you'll need a graphic design program to create vector images. We use Inkscape. It's free. It's really handy. It's good for beginners or advanced, but it's probably the best free software available. So if you go to inkscape.org and then you go to download, you can download it for Windows or Mac. I'm using a Mac, so in this tutorial I'll be talking about different quick buttons to use, and I'd assume it's the same on Windows, but don't take my word for it. It might be a little bit different. So there's that. Inkscape. If you do have Adobe, feel free to use Adobe. The end result is the same. We want a vector image. Usually it ends in a .svg opposed to like a .jpeg or such. So Adobe or Inkscape or any other graphic design program that you like, really the end result, it's the same thing. It's a vector image. Moving on, so you have an idea and you want to create it. With our map decal store, we like maps and states and all kinds of different things. So let's say we like making maps and putting different sayings under them. It's really popular. So I need first off, I'll need a graphic of the world here. So if I go to Google and I just type in world map, I'm gonna get a lot of stuff. Go to images. Most of it's going to be colored and really detailed and just a lot of crap that I can't use. Maybe you can use it if you're amazing at graphic design, but I'm not. So I'm looking for very basic, just an outline like this down here would be good. I particularly, for this design, I don't want the South Pole. And you can delete that within your graphic design software. Just something you might have to play with and figure that out. But I want to narrow my search results down, so I'm going to get a little more detailed, and typically I'll just put whatever I'm looking for, world map, and then I'll put the word vector after it. Even though I might not be necessarily downloading a vector image, it just kind of simplifies the design, cleans it up a little bit, and then it gives me some few results for exactly what I'm looking for. For this one, I really just want the world map. This looks like a good one to me right here. I will choose this, so I'm going to view image. That looks good. I'll use that. I'm going to save it. Save image as. Save it as world map. Saving it to my desktop. I already have one, so where goes that? Great. So that is saved. Just a side note that we like to be original and we don't want to steal other people's designs, so obviously don't go in and take the Nike swoosh or the whatever. Make it your own. As far as the world map goes, that's a pretty standard piece of clip art or design. We all live in the same place, so you can't really copyright the outline of the world. Clip art is okay for the most part. We are working on getting some licensing to a few different websites to use their clip art and have that available to you guys. to aid in your designs and help give you ideas. So as that comes available, I will keep you posted. But for right now, this is what we're using. So we're going to create a new design here. So right now I'm looking to make a world map with a little saying under it. I'm going to zoom in on the box, and I'm going to go up here, File, Import, or Control-I, and then from the desktop I have world map. So I'm going to import that, and there is my world map that I just saved. Now if I drag it over this line right here, you can see that it covers it up. That means that this white space, all this white, that's an actual background, like that's part of the image. We don't want that. We want to get that out of there. Otherwise the cutter will think that it's something that it has to cut out, and it will just cut out that square. So to get just the image, and this is why I say it's important to get a solid color or a dark color, so that inside your graphic design software it can aid in this process here. If you click your design and you go up to Path, down to Trace Bitmap, select that. And all this over here, it's just different options to kind of get the more detailed or less detailed on how it's going to trace this. That's something you'll just have to play with and kind of figure out on your own. But it's definitely it's not hard. So you'll be just fine. Hit update here once you have it selected, and you can see it gives you a little preview. You can adjust this and hit update. Once you're happy, hit OK. Close this. And what that just did is it created a basically a vector image for me, and that's it. So you can see too, if I select this, the one I'm holding and selecting right now, this is my vector. And I can tell because I drag it over that line, and you can see the line right here. There's no background behind this image. It's just the black is the only part of this. So that's my vector. So I can go ahead and select my original and delete that. And now I'm just working with this. I can take it, I can stretch and skew and do whatever I want with it until I'm happy. That's using the pointer tool. If you do select this one right underneath it, this is to select the paths and nodes, and you can see all the different nodes around here. We can zoom in, and let's say I don't like Madagascar, so we're gonna just highlight all the nodes and paths around that, and bye bye. So just that's something you can play with and kind of figure out, but that's a way to just edit some of your designs. But now I want to edit and add some words to the bottom here. I'm going to put a little quote. So I select the font tool down here, the text, and we put in "Lost is a place too." Perfect. Again, this is yours, so you can make this as big or as small as you want. We're going to put it right here. That's pretty plain text. I want to switch it up a little bit. You guys should have a shared folder for fonts that you can go into and download the fonts out of there. If you have questions on how to add a font to your computer, let me know. I can show you that. It's pretty easy. But that is available in the Dropbox, the fonts folder. Or you can go to dafont.com, and there is just thousands and thousands of free fonts. That's where we got most of ours from there. We're trying to donate to a lot of the creators of these fonts, just because we do use a lot of the same ones, and it's nice to give back to them. So if you do select a new font, just let us know what it is, put it in the fonts folder, and we will we'll go ahead and make a donation to them. For right now, we'll just select this, and you got your fonts up here. You can either select fonts out of here, or you can go up to text and font, and you can just scroll through and see what the text looks like in all these different fonts. For this one, I'm going to make it a little fancy. I like the font Scriptina. We go down to that. Scriptina. There we go. Apply, close this. Perfect. So now I got my world map, I got my font. It's a pretty good looking design to me. The next process, we want to save this so that it is ready to cut. With these fancier fonts, just a heads up, we don't have every font. We might not necessarily have every font that you have if you have a new one or a different computer with different fonts. So our software won't be able to read every single font. So for right now, we need the fonts and the words turned into a vector, turned into a path with nodes. Right now it's just font. But if you just select it and you go up here to object, or no, I'm sorry, go to path, object to path, and just hit that. It doesn't look like it does anything, but what that just did was turn this into paths and nodes. So you can tell by selecting this tool right underneath the cursor tool and just running over it, and you see it kind of turns green. If you click it, you can see all the different nodes and the paths we can move in on this. So you see that T. It's not actually a letter anymore. The software just reads it as a path with nodes. It is separate from this S, and that can actually create a problem on these fancier ones when like these cursive fancy letters go through the letter next to it. So you can see this S is by itself and it goes through the T, and the T is by itself. What happens when we go to try to cut it? So you can see here that S is wanting to go through the T. So the cutter will cut the T, but it will also cut this S, and it will cut out this little spot right in between. And we really don't want that. We want it to be clean and appear as though the S is either in front or behind the T, and we don't want it to cut out part of the T. That's not the appearance we're going for. Same, you can see it right here where it kind of cuts out part of the S, or this L going into the O. We don't want that little part cut out. And the way to avoid that, let's close this. Close that. Why are you yelling at me? There we go. Zoom out of here. Okay. So the way to do that is to basically weld these letters together, or union them is the proper term. The way I do it, I select one, and then I hold the shift button, select the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And you can do it a few at a time, like in a group here, or you can do them all at the same time. It doesn't really matter. But you select them, and then you go up here to path, and you go down to union, and you just click that. And what that did was just create it so that this is one path here, so that this isn't going through it anymore. You can see over here that this S isn't going through the T, it's connected to the T. So it will cut and then cut around, but not through it. And that's exactly what we want. It seems kind of tedious, but honestly, even to do this, all these letters, it takes me 30 seconds maybe. And that's really what we need to have done to properly cut it. Now we are looking into new software that might alleviate that problem, but as for right now, that is up to you guys to make that happen so that we can make this process simple and that we have no problems cutting it. Otherwise, we'll be back and forth trying to fix designs, and we don't want that. So let's say we get done with all of it. Select all of them here real quick. Perfect. I already did these, so we'll just go up to this, union. Great. So this design is done. That's exactly what I want it to look like, and it is ready to save. We're going to go up here, File, Save As, and I save it to Dropbox. I downloaded Dropbox. If you go to Dropbox.com and you sign into your account, you can actually download Dropbox to your computer, and you get like a little symbol right up here for Dropbox. So Dropbox is on my computer, and it will also sync with the online So I save it right to my Dropbox, and I'll save it in here. We already have this decal made, so it would save it in here, and you'll save it to your personal Dropbox shared folder that you have with us. And that way we have access to it. You'll have it saved for good, and we'll be ready to cut it from that file, and you will be able to use that vector image to add to pictures of walls, bedrooms and living rooms, playrooms, whatever you're creating the decal for your market, and create the listing. We will go over that in the next video, but that does it for now. And if you guys have any questions, again, please feel free to call me, shoot me a text, email, carrier pigeon, let me know. Thanks.